All right, once again, you guys are catching us. Let me get this out of the way so you guys can see Eric. We're over here at the Studio 420, one of the iconic places in Denver to sit down and relax and smoke weed with friends and family and make new friends. And so we've done that today. To my left over here is Eric. You see him, and CJ right here. I'm Rodney, and you're watching The Liberty of Weed, and we are very happy to be able to smoke weed and do dabs with these cats and talk about some of the shit that is actually going down around us. Being able to even ingest a little bit more information from kind of a outsider's perspective. And so, one of the things that Eric was talking about was the value of cannabis here in Colorado. And we got into a pretty decent discussion about, the different price points where weed is being sold at in the different neighborhoods, and you had a pretty valid point. Go ahead and express that.
Well, it just seems like it's ridiculous for there to be illegal state pricing it seems like it's ridiculous for there to be illegal state pricing in Denver, Colorado. Like, why am I paying $30, $45 a gram at a rec shop that's off 38th Street and Fox?
Right.
I don't understand that. Whenever there you can go buy $10, $12 wax out the door, $15 wax out the door. And the $15 stuff, like from Diego Pelican, is actually pretty decent stuff. I mean, I understand there's a connoisseur aspect to it, but what they're providing is not. I just feel like the market's not standardized. I feel like some people are taxing tourists, and they're getting away with it. Like, especially you go down to Shotgun Willie's, like we were talking about.
He did bring up the fact that you go down there to where they can treat a gentleman very well as Shotguns, and you do end up incurring kind of a different price point. But also, CJ, you had a different thought on cannabis in Colorado, coming from Colorado Springs, and you're now here based in Denver, and when you come here, you say knowing how Colorado Springs is, and what do you feel about the way the contrast? Are you able to say this is a better way, or which ways do you see that growth could happen?
Well, not to say one way is better than the other, but I just really enjoy what we
say
got
one way is
on.
better than the no.
Because things in Denver is just a little bit, more conducive to how we want to live up here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Politics does get involved. I mean, look what we just did politically on the spectrum. Like Colorado has psilocybin on the ballot that's coming on later, because people are the decision makers are more open to change and more open to accepting the data and everything else,
Well, the impact that I think the confluence of a good state with good weather and recreational cannabis has brought to Colorado has been an influx of different ideas.
It's a utopia, man. It's a melting pot.
Things get really innovative with the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
For consumption, because a lot of people, maybe not able to smoke or something. Then you could use oils and tinctures and butters,
right,
and lotions and lip balms and candy.
Terrible. Look at wow. I've been smoking. Yeah.
There's so many different things. But Colorado Springs, it's crazy. It was like a roller coaster with them. And right now they're on the downwards part, because like I was saying earlier, like in about 2009, like when I first got out the military and shit, it was it was open. You know, they had
Right.
dispensaries. I think they were medical only for a long time.
Now,
But they had different like prices and different like lounges and stuff that you could
Colorado
do.
Springs is still
And then it just
medical.
went, and it went up and down. But what it does, like really, what it does is just people
game the system.
Well, not really.
Yeah.
People embrace more themselves to like grow their own or get
Well,
their stuff from other
that is-
people
that was-
because
that is another-
if you hold a Colorado driver's license, boom, then you can do 8 plants or 6 plants.
That is another thing that we have brought up in a previous conversation.
Shit.
Is the effects of regulation and
Smoke big and break even.
and how maybe
Goddamn.
excessive regulation has led to a more thriving black market.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you
Well,
believe
I don't
that it
know.
could be a possibility that
I
since that the cannabis is an agricultural product and that you can literally grow it in your basement and you can do that for yourself and maybe one other, and now you are capable of doing that, and at one time you had the freedom to freely transact from your product directly to a retail outlet or directly to a caregiver problem. But now that the regulations have tightened so much that your growth product, because you are capable of designing a unique cannabis, and we know that these people, like you were saying, are off of the hook when it comes to these boutique cannabis products that they're putting out that are ailment specific, and they can't get them to market because of the rules and regulations that have been set forth, and they have real patients that are looking for that strawberry or that lemon, or they're trying to get that dynamic.
I don't even know how how it is right now really, like if you can like just sign over to like a personal like caregiver.
Well, see, here's what I'm saying is, why would you go through the challenge of doing that when when you could just go shake hands? And see, now that your guy can't go and make a living outside of the fact, and he can't go directly to the above board market, but he has a boutique product, right? Something that he loves and he has put his sweat and tears into, right?
No more growers.
Right? And all of a sudden, now he's getting his door kicked in, and he's within his constitutional right as given to us by Amendment 64, right?
It's a civil law.
Right, and now all of a sudden, because he is trying to give of himself and give of his product, he has become an enemy of the state, literally an enemy of the state, because he defies their tax regime.
Respond against regulation and fucking authoritarianism.
And we have dispensaries right now that have products that are laying around so long that they're being recalled for mold, right? And there's products that are consistently being tested for mites and all. And I'm not saying that we don't have some fabulous growers out there. We do, and if you guys are very interested in having some information like this about your place, touch base. But the ideas about cannabis now in this community have to be expanded to the taxed, not legal platform.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems it's complicated to me, man.
Well, and Eric was talking about civil liberties, here one of the descriptors that you used was utopia.
Yeah.
It's utopia, and it is beautiful to be able to come here and
Just
go
sit down.
and you could walk into this glass laden clinic right? Or live well, or whatever, high level or whatever,
They're real high.
and you can get educated on not only what the opportunities of what they're offering, but why they're offering it. And you, because of the rules and regulations, have the opportunity to look at their product from seed to sale, right?
Yeah.
Because they have that paradigm. But that's that.
Devin the Dude said, smoke big and break even. No longer have to wait for harvest season.
That's it.
Right on.
Yep.
Boom. Boom.
So
Power to nut, flower power.
yeah, man. I thank you guys for jumping in with some info, but
Hey, that's pretty organic, man. I dig it.
yeah, bro. We everybody has to get together and have these conversations, especially when it comes to changing the culture of weed. And nothing personal about Kansas. I think that it's going to be good when they adopt medical weed, but you can't have medical without rec. You got to keep it rec.
Here's the thing, though, man. I brought this up to you earlier, and I think you were touching on it. Why the fuck?
Go use the bathroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why can't they just take off all regulation, right? And let it be a market standard, let it be an industry standard, not a government bureaucracy standard.
I think there's a lot of people that agree with you. I'm one of those. I would love for the market to take over, the true market to take over cannabis, but I think that, and I would like to see the monopoly plays out, because right now you have these huge influxes of cannabis into all the already large cannabis presences in the industry, and so that's just creating a bubble of cannabis investment.
Absolutely.
And I think that, but it's not. It may not be bad. It may be that it expands the opportunity of cannabis into different ways. But the one thing that I have fear for, if we're going to talk about that, is the separation of hemp and the separation of the psychoactive weed. Yeah. No, weed.
Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't want hemp to run off and be the good weed. And then they say, oh, the other weed is bad weed. I don't want that to happen. That would be bad, in my opinion, because I have scientists that have called me up and said, hey, Rodney, I don't understand why people are ingesting just CBD and not THC. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, man, I don't mean to get you off topic, but you seem pretty educated on this, so educate me. This CBD, is it basically snake oil?
No, not
What about the shit whenever you go to an illegal state and you buy it at a hemp shop? Is that shit snake oil? Because that's not the same shit they're selling in a dispensary.
I used to hang out at
the closer you get to the source, the better. Always go to reputable manufacturers. There's reputable manufacturers all around the place. Do some research. I always say, do some research but get closer to the source. If you're going to a hemp shop in Kentucky and they have all the processing plants in Kentucky, then you're probably getting very good CBD.
So that CBD is as good a quality as if I go to Denver, Colorado, into a high-end shop and buy that THC psychoactive.
If I was a chef, I would say that
fake meat versus real meat is what I'm getting at.
No. What you would be looking at is the terroir. So that would be the conditions by which each one of those plants are grown, and in the area that those plants are grown, and the strain that those are grown. And then you would have to also match that with what you were trying to affect with your CBD use. So if you're trying to affect overall health and you're going for just commercial brand CBD, you're not trying to repair a heart muscle, or you're not going out for Olympic tryouts, or you're not doing that, then maybe generic, or maybe the flashier CBD that is CBD is for you. But if you are fortunate to be right next to the plant and you're the first run off of the plant, then Good night, you two. Good night. Then you are probably going to be focusing on a particular CBD product and CBD strain. And so if you're closer to the closer you are to the source, the better.
Makes sense.
You know, and it depends on where you're at. So if your source is in a place where all cannabis products is frowned upon, and they have a quote unquote CBD store in there, I would consider that not to be really close to the source, right?
That's what I was getting at.
Right.
And so is that shit basically snake oil? Let's put it this way. I'm as healthy as a horse, no ailments. I have depression, nothing wrong up here. If I just pound some CBD, I take like, I don't know what a good huge dose would be. I'm definitely going to feel placebo, right? Because I'm expecting it to do something.
Maybe. I think what you do is after repeated use, you find out your marker of change, because there is change. You are ingesting a product that is known to have metabolic changes in the physiology, and so
there is physical change.
Yeah, there is physical change, and
but there's physical change if I drink a teaspoon of grease.
Exactly, and so you're going to have to find out if the changes that you feel from the ingestion of that product is something that is beneficial to you, and it could be in joints, it could be in flexibility, it could be in eyesight, it could be in a sense of well-being, or it could be in a sense of paranoia, it could be in another sense. And so, I mean, it's going to take some time for you to decide for yourself what that product does for you. And if there is that substance in that product, then you are going to have some physical reaction to it, okay? Now, to the degree. So, if you are closer to the source and you have a pure, more distilled, direct product, and you ingest that, then of course you're going to have a different result. And that result is going to say to you, hey, look, I have a different reaction when I do this, and if it's good or if it's bad, if it's a tummy ache or if it's, being able to hear clearer, then those are the things that you judge of after repeated use, and then you can judge for yourself and spread the word about your use, because it's not going to be able to say the 2-star shit is not going to have a dramatic effect on somebody if their endocannabinoid system had never ingested CBD before, right? And so they might have a huge reaction to the ingestion of what some consistent CBD users wouldn't have a reaction to at all.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't want to negate that as being an option, for someone who's looking at probably starting a regimen for whatever purpose, because they're trying to be better, for whatever reason. And I think that if you are going to start using the possibility of a CBD or whatever, you might want to consider doing a lot of different trials for yourself.
Well, let me skip that.
Okay.
Skip the trials, skip the research. No bullshit. I want CBD and I want the best stuff that I can get that I think is going to be best for me.
Okay.
Where do I go? What do I get?
2 places, Steve's Goods for your CBNs and Veedworks for your inhalables. And Veedworks is because they do a lot of refinement for their CBD product to react similar to the cannabis product itself, and they define that on their webpage. I worked with Veedworks. Steve's.
So you know them.
Yeah, and Steve's Goods. I had the opportunity to try their CBNs, but I will say that there is a guy right now. There is a guy right now.
Send me this video because I want to fucking get that place or whatever. It was text me that
but-
later because I
but-
want to
but-
try some like legitimate CBD.
But there is a guy right now, and this guy is not And you were talking about closer to the source. Now those guys are good because their products are refined, and they have gone through several steps, several layers of refinement, and they are the top of the line. But if you want high impact, high probability of real work, I can give you a guy. And if you're doing it for medical reasons, and he can,
Well, that's the thing. I'm not.
But no, I mean you're doing
purely recreational.
No, you're not. Because if you listen to Carter Baird is a pot scientist. Carter Baird says all cannabis use is medical use. So you're doing it recreational. You're doing it
all morphine use is not medical.
But this is not morphine.
True, but all medicine is just. I don't understand that. Can you explain it?
Yeah, because everything is going to your endocannabinoid system that is part of the growth process of your body. You're not the same benefits that a cancer patient gets from ingesting cannabis for the reason that you are getting that benefit too, even if you're just getting high.
But my point is, it's shrinking a tumor in a cancer patient. Assuming I have no tumor, it's doing nothing.
No, it is benefiting you. It is benefiting the systems that you already have by enhancing your endocannabinoid systems. Just because you think you're doing it recreationally.
Does that make it a medicine, or does that make it a supplement at that point?
It makes it one of the most useful products ever ingested by man. Because
I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just trying to think of the semantics of the.
Well, no, and since you cannot help the ingestion of it affecting the processes of disease killing, aeration of the blood, decreasing inflammation. Since you cannot help that happening because you ingest it and it is its basic component, you are benefiting your body. So even though you are doing it similar to me, like I do bong racing, man, just so I can break out and sweat and laugh about it, right? But the ingestion of that at that rate is a medical dose. It's a medical dose.
Of course. But at that, like all doses are medical doses.
That's what he's saying. All cannabis use is medical use.
Well, I'm talking about quantities. Like if I take a bong hit, that's the equivalent. It's just a lower dose.
That's what he's saying.
Because it's all medicine.
It's all medicine.
Duly noted. I mean, I get it. I just.
And that's
arguing this. I mean, I'm not arguing the concept or principle of it. I'm just the semantics of it of calling it medicine.
Well, and
somebody who's
this
not
is why I say
using it
keep
as
it rec.
medicine.
And this is why I say keep it rec.
Well, and that's exactly it.
And I love keeping it rec. I love being able to present bong racing, and I love I have all these guys that are part of the gig and shit. Because it is important that happens. And when you keep it rec, what you do is you make sure that people realize this is fun as fuck. I mean, it is fun.
This is the new bar. This is the new bar of our day.
And it's just a blast.
It is.
It's just a blast.
Only people don't get fucking mad and punch each other.
Right, and
like you go to a bar, you get knocked out of your chair.
And you can go home and everything is cool, and you can scratch your back and other people can scratch theirs, and people are cool.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. That is what's important. Well, hey, right on, Eric, man. Thanks a lot for sitting down.
Good talking to you.
Right on. Oh, hey, fellas, you guys do whatever you're supposed to. Subscribe, click, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.